It's not funny. I glared at my brother as he hid behind his blue cocktail at the Chandelier, one of our regular meet-up places for drinks when we were both busy and working on the strip. Sure, it was a place that was geared for tourists, but I happened to love how beautiful the 3-story bar was, and Rex was a huge fan of the women who frequented it. So, tourist trap or not, it was one of our favorite Las Vegas hotspots.
Oh, come on.
Rex wiped at the corners of his eyes, seemingly ignoring the women who kept giving him appraising looks from across the bar. He was in simple jeans and a polo shirt, his dark hair swept away from his face, but he was drawing a lot of attention. That was my brother. He knew he was hot, but he never came across as egotistical. Would he use his looks to pick up a tourist and have a wild night tonight? Yes, but none of these women were in it for forever, and so nobody was in danger of nursing a broken heart. So everything was just good fun where he was concerned, and nobody ever complained. I didn't have it that lucky, which was exactly why I had invited Rex out for a drink. Focus! I flicked his ear, hard. He yelped, "Ow! Livy!" He murdered me with a single glare. That hurt! It was supposed to. Rex and I were tight. If you'd asked me if I saw that happening when I was 15 and he was 17, I would have laughed until I passed out. Hindsight is a funny thing, though. We were tight back then, too. I just didn't see it. Perhaps my brace's rubber bands were so tight it blinded me. We're talking about me? I reminded him. I lost my job today. The reality hit me yet again. It was a hard slap on a naked cheek. Rex turned instantly contrite.
I'm sorry, Livy.
He rested his arm across the back of my chair and angled himself so he was looking directly at me.
You didn't even like that job, though.
He wasn't wrong. I didn't even know how I'd ended up in that position. Head accountant for Bradford & Sons, one of the premier bookie agencies in the city. I'd always liked numbers. They made sense to me. There was nothing more soothing than tabulating in my book. I wasn't a math genius by any stretch of the imagination, but I had an orderly mind. Balancing books was easy. Unfortunately for me, what was also easy was discovering a hastily covered error on one of my sheets. It wasn't even a big error. $500. That's it. The thread was too tantalizing not to pull, though. That had been the beginning of the end. I'd pulled the thread, which led to a cascade of more discrepancies. Then I discovered an avalanche. It was an avalanche that had almost buried me. Upon finding out that my boss was embezzling money, I'd gone to the head of the company, who just so happened to be his father. He thanked me profusely for discovering what his son had been doing. He was mortified to find out how much hookers and blow that money had gone toward, and then he'd called his son into his office. I expected there would be a trip to rehab and more oversight appointed to my boss. There was no way his own father would fire him. Right? Wrong. 3 days later, my boss had been ousted from his corner office. The family was fighting. A week after that, while still thanking me for discovering the error, Bucky Bradford Sr. had informed me they were scaling back operations and that my position was no longer required. He'd given me a decent severance package, of course. He seemed legitimately sorry that he had to pull the rug out from under me. That didn't change the fact that I was now jobless in Las Vegas, and I had no idea what my reputation looked like. What if the senior Mr. Bradford decided to blame the money lapse on me?
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.